Hi, I'm Marco Buckmeyer, Project Manager at Iris CRM. Today, I'm going to walk you through how to configure the NMI payment gateway so that you can begin taking credit card payments through NMI from your Iris CRM site. In order to do this, you're going to need to log into your NMI portal as well as your Iris CRM site as an administrator. We're going to start off in the NMI portal and go to the settings page, which you can access from the quick access utilities menu or under options on the menu. Once we open the settings, which is where we'll configure everything in the NMI portal today, so we're going to be referring back to here several times. The first step is to create a new private key. To do this, click security keys under security options. And I already have one created. I'm going to create a new one by clicking add a new private key. We'll call it Iris CRM 2, naming it accordingly for what it's for, and selecting the user I want to associate. I only have myself as an option, and then click API under key permission. This is important to do to make sure that this integration works, and click create. Once I do that, it'll show up as my second key under here. I'm going to copy the new one that I created by doing the copy button. I'll copy to my clipboard, and then I'm going to go over to my Iris CRM site. And I'll show you the long way first and then give you a tip on how to navigate to this page faster if you're looking to save some time. So manage administration, and then we're going to click on the integrations option on the left. And there's two NMI options. The first one is the existing integration for reseller credentials, but we want the second option, which is process credit card payments using NMI. This will automatically open a new gateway creation window to be more convenient for you. I'm going to close that out and revert back to it real soon. The shortcut I mentioned would be to type /payment/gateways into your URL after .com, and you'll be taken directly to this page. However, it won't automatically open that window unless you were to add the $ID equals NMI. And so in that case, you would want to click create gateway or new gateway, and select NMI if it wasn't already pre-selected. Name defaults to NMI, which is perfect since that's what's relevant. You can change it if you want, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. And then I'm going to paste in the API key that I just created and copied from the NMI portal. I'll set this as my default. You don't have to, but we like NMI here at Iris CRM since we're part of the family now. And if you wanted to change this, you can always toggle it back. And then click create. It'll show up in my payment gateways. This is great. And I'm going to go back over to my NMI portal. Again, I want the settings page. And the next thing I'm going to do is the API configuration. This is a quick step as well. And you'll see here that there's several fields that are highlighted in blue. And then there's two others, billing address ID and customer vault ID. These aren't put into the fields returned by default. I've already moved these over from the left side to the right side. So that's what you'll need to do. Find billing address ID and customer vault ID, click on them and drag them over to the right side so that you have the blue default values and those two. Once you've moved those over, you can click save. You gotta scroll all the way to the bottom and then click OK in order to save those changes. If you need to edit them, maybe you selected the wrong fields or added too many, whatever the case, you would click edit and move them around again accordingly based on the instructions we just went through. Now that's all set. I'm going to kind of cheat the system since I know the next few steps and go back to my settings page. And webhooks is the next option here under transaction options. And I'm going to create new endpoints. So I'll click create and leave it there. And now I'm going to go back over to Iris CRM and show you which instructions to use in order to complete the next steps. So again, we have our NMI payment gateway. I'm going to go all the way over to actions and find the sync webhooks icon, which is the kind of circular arrows. Click on that and it'll open webhooks instructions, and you can walk through these in order to complete this next step. They're also listed in the written guide, but this should make your life easier. You also need data from here and to put data into here in some of the following steps. So let's go through these. Log into NMI, check. Click on settings, yep. Webhooks, yep. Click on create button. did all that. That's what I meant. I cheated and jumped ahead. So then step 5, I want to copy the bolded URL here and go back over to the NMI Webhooks page. And here I want to paste in the URL in order to create that new endpoint. And then there's 18 events that we need to move over from available events to subscribed events. And there's kind of a pattern to this. It's success, failure, and unknown, which is the third item in the sequential naming. And then I'll kind of mention whatever the middle item is. So I want to do transaction, sale, unknown, and then sale failure, sale success. I want credit, which I believe is down here, yeah. Credit success, credit failure, and credit unknown. I want refund, unknown, success, failure. I want void, success, failure, and unknown. I want capture, so failure, unknown, success. And then I want auth as my final option. So auth success, auth failure, and auth unknown. And then NMI is quite kind and have numbered all of these events that we moved over. And we can see that our total is 18. Again, you can use the instructions to double check that you moved over all correct 18 events. And then click Save Changes. So signing key, endpoint, and then we want to create another endpoint actually. And this one will be a little bit simpler. I'll go back over to the instructions, scroll down, we saved, and then click create again. So in step 8, copy the URL here. This is a unique URL. It's different than the one in step 5. So make sure you copy the one listed there. And we just need one event moved over in this endpoint, which is settlement batch complete. So then we're going to go back over, paste in this new URL, and then settlement batch complete into our subscribed events and save those changes. Now we have 2 endpoints, and the signing key, you're going to want to copy the signing key, go back over to our payment gateways, and in step 10, we're going to paste it in to the field listed there. And there's a couple more steps. 13 is actually what we did right before this with the API configuration, but all of these are all set and we can click save. No thanks, Google, it's not credentials. And so this is all set, and you'll see webhooks says disabled as the status. You do not need to worry about this. This will automatically update once the 2 systems start to communicate with each other. So you're all set with that configuration. One awesome feature to the NMI integration is the ability to enter level 3 data, as well as set default level 3 data for transactions in order to get the lowest interchange fees possible when processing payments through NMI with Iris CRM. So let me show you how you would do that. I'm going here where the webhooks have already been enabled and the system's communicating, and there's a new icon, a settings icon that says Edit Level 3 Defaults and Actions. Click that, and I will have this page where I can manage all of my defaults. And if you have PayTrace enabled, you could toggle between and select that as the gateway and update those as well. And if you wanted a shortcut to this page, similar to payment gateways, manage /payment /level -3, and you'd be able to edit these. So just another quick URL shortcut for you. So there's a couple options for setting your defaults here, and you may not be able to set defaults for all of your fields, but I'll walk you through these options. If I go down here to shipping postal /zip code, I can select map from field, and in this case, it's who I'm shipping to and their zip code. So you can take the lead field for zip code, and I chose the business information one since there's several zip codes, since that's probably the most likely zip code I would be shipping to for the lead. And if you're processing a merchant's payment, it's still connected to a lead and would use the linked leads field values, which would most likely match your merchant. And then if that field were empty, I could set a value here. So 128, maybe that's a zip code. However, that likely wouldn't make sense for the shipping postal code because you are probably not super likely shipping to the same exact zip code every time that you process a payment within your CRM, because your different leads will be in different locations and zip codes. You probably don't sell to only one zip code. So I'm going to remove that. However, I could just set a default as empty. I don't need it to necessarily map from a default and then fill it in if there's no value in that lead field. So my ship from, I'd always be shipping from my business and one location, which has one zip code. So I've input that here. And there's tooltips to help you with all of these. And then I would click save at the bottom and I would have my default set. Just because you have default set doesn't mean you have to use them when processing an actual payment for a merchant. When you're processing a payment on the Payments tab, you can go down to the bottom and click Edit Level 3 Data, and this will let the user manually update those fields. We see our defaults here for the zip codes that we were just playing around with, and for the shipping, I'm like, no, I don't, that came from the lead field, I'm guessing, but maybe that was incorrect and they actually have a zip code of, say, 55119, and I would fill in all of the rest of the data, and then I would click save, and that would be all set, and I could submit my payment once I entered all of that data. I would assume I had already entered that. So there you go. That is how the new NMI payment gateway works for processing merchant payments directly from your CRM. We hope this video helped and that you're able to get this configured. If you run into any issues at all, please contact our support team. You can do live chat within your CRM, or you can email support@iriscrm.com. They would be more than happy to help. And we also have the written guide available to walk you through step-by-step as an added resource. Have a great day.